My unemployed boyfriend asked me to invest $8,000 in his fake business after I'd already lent him thousands. So I investigated and discovered he was conning his entire family with made-up stories while pretending to have a job out of state. I, 26F, have been with Chris to 9M for about 8 months now. We knew each other through mutual friends for about 3 years before we started dating. I work as a graphic designer at a small agency, and while I make decent money, I'm not wealthy by any means. Chris worked in sales at a tech company when we first got together. Chris and I have very different approaches to money. I grew up in a middle-class family where my parents taught me to be careful with spending and always have a backup plan. My mom works as a teacher and my dad is an electrician. They worked hard to give me a good education and always stressed the importance of being financially responsible. After college, I took out student loans and worked part-time jobs to support myself. My parents helped when they could, but I never wanted to rely on them completely. Chris comes from a different background. His parents own a small restaurant chain, and he grew up more comfortable than I did. He went to private school and had his college paid for. When we started dating, he had a good job and made more money than me. He was always generous with dates and gifts, which I appreciated, but sometimes made me uncomfortable because I couldn't always match his spending. About 2 months into our relationship, Chris told me he was quitting his job. He said he was tired of the corporate environment and wanted to find something that matched his values. I supported his decision because I know how draining a job you hate can be. He said he had enough savings to last him several months while he looked for the right opportunity. The job search took longer than expected. Chris applied to several positions but kept turning down offers because the salary was too low or the company culture didn't seem right. After about 6 weeks of searching, he started asking me to cover small expenses when we went out. At first, it was just coffee or lunch, maybe $20 or $30 here and there. I didn't mind because I figured he was just being careful with his savings. Then the requests became more frequent and for larger amounts. He asked me to pay for groceries when we cooked dinner together, gas money when we drove somewhere, and eventually his share of rent utilities. Each time, he promised he would pay me back once he found a job. I kept track of everything in a notebook because I'm organized like that, but I never made a big deal about it. By month 4 of our relationship, I had lent Chris over $2,000. I was starting to feel the strain on my own budget. I had to skip buying new clothes, cut back on eating out with friends, and even